Our bro Jason and I were sent a ginormous leak up in our Discord server. We covered some of the things over on his channel, so today we're going to cover some of the other stuff throughout this ginormous leak, which this rumor states that there should be 200 plus brand new Pokemon for the new Pokedex. The general Pokedex should be about 600 plus Pokemon. More stuff such as the legendary Pokemon and the evolutions for the starter Pokemon as well, and just other, I guess you could say, new Pokedex information throughout this rumor today. Now, it is from 4chan, and as we all know, 4chan is not the best place for leaks, but we did get a lot of real leaks that came from the Pokemon Day Pokemon Presents that literally leaked the starter Pokemon before they were officially announced. That was 100% real. We also had some real leaks from 4chan for the Legends ZA Mega Evolution era. Of course, this is going to be the biggest Pokemon game ever, so a ginormous new Pokedex makes a lot of sense, so that way we could capture a ton of brand new mons all around the map, because why not, right? Right before we hop into it, subscribe to the channel, help reach my goal of 45,000 subs. Make sure to go check out Jay's art as well. Let's see if we get today's sub goal of 15 subs. Let's get right into it. So right here, you can see 200 plus new Pokemon, 600 plus Pokedex. I think that'd be sick. I'm hoping for at least 150-ish brand new Pokemon, just because, like I said, it's the biggest Pokemon game that we currently do have.
And Pokemon Black and White was the game that introduced the most brand new Pokemon to us so far out of all the Pokemon regions. And I think a lot of people are making comparisons of Pokemon Winds and Waves to Black and White, just because, Black and White is obviously the best looking 2D Pokemon game we've ever gotten. And then Winds and Waves is seeming like the best looking 3D Pokemon game that we've ever gotten. And not to mention, according to leaks, we also know that there's going to be some more, I guess, serious storyline in Pokemon Winds and Waves, just like how there was in Black and White. So I think it does make sense that we could be getting a ton of brand new Pokemon in this game, because it's really seeming like Winds and Waves Gen 10 is going to be the Gen 5 of the 3D era of Pokemon, and I think that's hype.
And of course, there will be a ton of returning Pokemon. Like, I'm assuming all the starter Pokemon from all the previous generations. At least maybe they'll do that in the DLC, because I'm assuming the DLC for these games will also introduce maybe some new Pokemon, and as well as that, just bring in a bunch of other Pokemon. And I'm really hoping that this game could maybe give us the national dex, because I believe Scarlet and Violet is the current biggest Pokedex. There's about 800 Pokemon that you can catch in that game specifically. Something that's also really interesting is that there is apparently not going to be a new type, which a lot of people thought this could be the introduction of the light type, especially since we have the seed Pokemon that has been leaked. And what happens when, there is a seed in the sunlight, underground? It grows, right? So I feel like a light type would really make a lot of sense for this game specifically, especially since we've had so many, I guess you could say, rumors and so much desire over like the last 10 years, I would say, specifically for the light type. And if you do take a closer look right here, it says no new Mega Evolutions. One can only think, new Mega Evolutions. Okay, what if that means Mega Evolution is going to be in this game? We did have a leak, and I believe this was from the Terra leak actually, saying that there is some sort of bag that you can hold Mega Stones within this game. But my personal theory is there's not going to be any Mega Evolutions. I feel like that is probably not going to happen at all. Maybe in the DLC though, where they can introduce all the past evolution gimmicks, like Translation, Z moves, Mega Evolution, bring them all back into one game, being the 10th generation, paying homage to just the entire history of the Pokemon games. Now, that would be something very, very cool.
I hope they would give us Mega Evolutions in post-game, kind of like in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where we have the battle tree and then we got to use our points to unlock the Mega Stones, possibly the Z crystals, all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be a pretty cool way to give us all these old gimmicks, but who knows, man. Hopefully that does end up happening though.
Now let's talk a little bit about the legendary Pokemon. So we know it's going to be some sort of like grandpa and grandma figure, like some sort of older, wiser figure from the Terra leak. And right here it says the Winds legendary is going to be some sort of flying steel bird, and the Waves legendary is going to be some sort of water dragon type, which just sounds very cool to me. I gathered some concept art from some amazing artists just to kind of like give you guys a visual idea of what these could look like. So this would be awesome. This looks like some sort of Lapras, like legendary version, and I think it is so peak. I would love this as one of the starters, because obviously this thing could go underwater and it looks like it could fly. I mean, is that not looking like it's flying right there?
Yeah, bro, this one is sick. I think it definitely looks like that cloud that we saw in the trailer. It definitely has the right shape for it. So honestly, if the Waves legendary looks something like this, I think that would be hype, and I would probably pick Pokemon Waves. I'm not gonna lie.
I love this one. This one gives Mega Rayquaza, okay, not Mega Rayquaza, but big Rayquaza vibes right here with the long snake-like body. This is a dragon, a water type. Dude, I absolutely love this design so much.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, looking at this design, especially in the face right away, I think of Garchomp. This guy looks like Garchomp's water type cousin, you know what I'm saying? But later on in this leak, we actually have some kind of a new walking shark Pokemon that's going to be a water type. Now, it says it's not related to the Gible line, except what if that leak is actually not true? And what if we get some kind of a convergent Garchomp form in this game, and it looks something like this, as well as the entire Gible line? I think that would be nuts for this walking shark Pokemon. And I mean, Garchomp quite literally is the land shark Pokemon. So I think that would be insane if we got something like that, bro.
Now let us talk about the starter Pokemon evolution. One thing to mention is that these, I'm assuming 99.99% sure that these will be shown off during the next trailer, just because of the fact that we're probably not getting another trailer until Pokemon Day, so it's got to be a huge one, right? So Broud's final evolution could be a grass and a steel type cassowary. That is the number one thing we have been hearing. We've heard so many rumors about a grass steel type specifically being a cassowary, and Cardinal the Goat has made some absolutely amazing Broud evolutions. The second and third stage evolution, I would totally love these designs right here. I actually love these so much.
We've had leaks saying that Broud's evolution was going to be a grass steel type, grass dark, grass flying, grass fighting even. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be cool with any of those. Grass steel type cassowary Pokemon could be pretty cool for Broud's evolution, I'm not gonna lie. And then for Pombon, it says the final evolution is going to be a fire fairy type bipedal dog, which in my last video I got that mixed up. For some reason I misread it. I thought that it was saying it was on all fours, but obviously bipedal means that it's standing on 2 feet. And if that is the case for this Pombon final evolution, then the community is going to be in an outrage, bro, because we've had so many of these final stage fire type evolutions be standing on 2 feet, and that did change in Gen 9. However, I think if they went back to that after 8 generations of those starter Pokemon being bipedal, people would be pissed. We've seen Fire Fairy type for all of Pombon's evolutions in all the leaks that we've had so far, so I think that's definitely going to be the case for Pombon.
Gekwa, which is the goat I'm picking, guys. Which one are you picking? Broud, Pombon, or Gekwa?
Gekwa!
The final evolution, we have heard this many times again, maybe going to be a water psychic, or we've also heard water poison, Zen Lizard. Now, I'm leaning more so towards water poison is what I would personally like more, but I still think that anything we do get for Gekwa is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be peak. I genuinely am convinced that these are going to be the best Pokemon starters we've seen in a while. Like, I genuinely think this is going to be probably the best starters in many generations. One of my favorite parts about this entire rumor right here is that it says early normal type monkey and cow. Right off the bat, Cardinal, bro. Cardinal legitimately made these already of a grass cow that is legitimately one of the coolest Pokemon I've ever seen in my life, or I guess I should say Fakemon, and a monkey, which is a water type monkey he made. I absolutely love it. Now, both of those would be awesome, and I love when the early route Pokemon are something just so like cute and unique and cool like that. I feel like those are two goated options for some early route Pokemon, especially if they do it right, just like how Cardinal's designs are. We did a deep dive in the Woobat and the Swoobat evolution on Jzard's video. Now let's talk about Liepard. So Liepard gets an evolution pure dark. Okay, now this would be crazy because Liepard obviously does not have an evolution, but if it's a pure dark type, I think that's pretty unique, because I think that'd be pretty unique. So this evolution right here is something that I found online. Some amazing Fakemon right here, which shout out to all the Fakemon artists in this video.
Bro, I absolutely love this art because, first of all, it reminds me of the OG Ken Sugimori style of Pokemon art, and I think that's just so classic. So I gotta give the artist props for that right off the bat, but also that big claw on his tail I think is a very unique for the design of this thing. It definitely fits the dark type pretty well. And then bro's just got the champion logo on him for some reason, but this design is sick.
Over on his channel, we also did cover the Ant Army, the Trapinch. An evolution of Tropius would be fantastic. We've heard this rumor time and time again, and I am kind of convinced that we're getting an evolution of Tropius. Another one that we've been hearing a lot over the last couple of months is a kangaroo. So this says normal kangaroo, baby form, fighting kangaroo, male form, and then a normal kangaroo, which is going to be female apparently. I think a kangaroo Pokemon needs to happen without a doubt. Now, this design goes absolutely crazy because the tail is a boxing glove. Like, how is that not the coolest first stage evolution kangaroo you've ever seen in your life? You could debate that we have Breloom as a kangaroo Pokemon, which is like, I don't know, 50-50, but we do have Kangaskhan, which is definitely a kangaroo, but doesn't really look like a kangaroo. So I think a true kangaroo Pokemon needs to happen.
Yeah, bro, and I'm not gonna lie, this one kind of looks like the Gen 10 Pikachu clone, because if you guys look back in every single region, we've had some kind of a Pikachu clone in all of them. More recently, we've had like Togedemaru, those type of Pokemon, and this Pokemon right here definitely looks like it could have that vibe. It's got the right ears for it, you know what I'm saying? Like the Pichu type of ears. So that would be pretty sick. Definitely unique. And the boxing glove on the tail, that's also just so creative. I absolutely love this Pokemon right here, being a boxer myself.
I love how mean he looks. Like, bro, look at him. And he doesn't have the bandit on his face, meaning he probably has mastered his fighting. I think a fighting and electric type is a crazy cool combo.
The fact they got the electric type on this Pokemon, I think supports even more that this should be the Gen 10 Pikachu clone.
And the flying carpet here definitely reminds me of like a drift blim or just some sort of, you know, inanimate object Pokemon, which I do have a lot of nowadays. Now, these were the type of Pokemon that I was not the biggest fan of when I was younger, but I've actually grown to really enjoy these, especially since I learned about some of the lore behind them, and I think they're pretty cool. So honestly, a flying carpet Pokemon would be a really unique one.
Also, guys, me and my bro Fundoris are running up a giveaway in our Discord server for two $20 eShop gift cards. If you guys want to enter, it's 100% completely free. It's going to be in our Discord, which the link will be down below in the description. You guys can enter there. We just want to do it in our Discord to make sure that we can keep track of all the entries and all that kind of stuff. So good luck to all you guys, man. And hopefully we see all you guys up in the Discord.
Thanks for watching today's video. If you are around watching this from the video, comment down below, turtle. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Hey.